Streaming now, this is the Wood TV Live Desk.
And good morning, everyone. Phil Penarski here with the Wood TV Live Desk. Hope you're all having a great start to your Wednesday. Over on woodtv.com, one story has been getting quite a bit of attention ever since it was first published on Sunday, and it revolves around the increase in the black bear population here in the state of Michigan. News 8 digital reporter Matt Jaworowski joins us now. He was the author behind that story, and we're going to talk a little bit more about the Department of Natural Resources and how they're sort of handling this recent discovery. Matt, thank you so much for being here today.
Hey, Phil.
Yeah, no, and I guess just kind of starting off, Matt, first of all, just kind of go in a little bit more. For the people who haven't gotten a chance to check out the story, what are some of the main points that they need to get out of that?
The first point is there's no need to panic. Let's put that out there right away. There's no need to freak out. Basically, the DNR is saying over the last 10 years, Michigan's bear population has grown 70%. Mm-hmm. A lot of that has to do, in 2012, to help the population grow, they limited the number of hunting licenses they approved for bears, black bears. And so that helped the population grow, specifically down here in the lower peninsula. And the trends that they are seeing is that the bear population is expanding their range, specifically over here in West Michigan. So they kind of put the word out of, Muskegon, Newaygo, Oceana counties. Those are the ones that are right in our area. They're right on the fringe. They already have some established bear population. They expect to see more in the coming years, mm-hmm. and could potentially creep down even further south.
Right, and of course, I do want to remind everybody that if you haven't gotten the chance to check out Matt's story, it is available right now over on our website, woodtv.com. If you're watching us on Facebook, be sure to click that link in the description box or in the comments section. It'll take you directly to that story, and you can also continue to watch this conversation live as it's happening. Matt, when you do come on the live desk, though, I always like hearing a little bit more about the process behind your work. Your stories do really well online. You obviously take a lot of care in doing them, but I kind of want to know a little bit more about your process. Why did you kind of decide to dive a little bit more in depth on this story, in particular the growing bear population?
Yeah, for my story selection, I just let my curiosity drive it. Mm-hmm. So I was working on a story a couple weeks ago about a DNR proposal to ban melatonin for use in bear hunting. It's kind of this bizarre story, mm-hmm. How it actually hasn't happened yet, but the DNR is trying to get ahead of what they consider a budding trend. And so doing research for that, I came across these numbers like, the bear population has really grown, and it's expanding. And I know here in West Michigan, we don't typically see the occasional bear, but to have them be more a part of our kind of everyday lifestyle would be a big deal for a lot of people. Right. And so that's what really drove me to dive into it and figure out exactly what's happening.
Mm-hmm. Right, and you started off this conversation stating that there's no need to worry at this point, but you did talk to a lot of the officials with the DNR and everything. What are they kind of saying about the potential likelihood of in the next couple of years potentially seeing them move a little bit more into our viewing area, really even into the greater Grand Rapids area too? Yeah,
so that's it's not inevitable, mm-hmm. but that's the trend that we're seeing right now, according to the DNR. So some of the big things that they're looking out for is whether bears will continue to adapt to agricultural land. That's something they're seeing more on the east side of the northern lower peninsula. Previously, the bears would kind of really stick to the forest. When they hit a large swath of agricultural land where there's a lot of food, mm-hmm. there's not a lot of shelter, that kind of served as a natural boundary for them. Now they're seeing bears overcoming that and continuing to push south, even into that agricultural land. So that's something we could see here in West Michigan. The DNR talked about it's kind of the nature of the way black bears work. Females, they have a typical range where they live in about a 50 square mile area, mm-hmm. and they'll overlap with other females. Men are different. They do not overlap. They're extremely territorial. And that land they take up quite a bit of space, usually up to and over 300 square miles. So more bears, you need more land, and obviously they're going to come further south.
Mm-hmm. And did any of the officials seem worried at all about the potential of them moving down, or that this is maybe, you said don't worry about it right now, but maybe come down the line, would it eventually lead to potential problems?
There is potential, could lead to problems down the road. Just the same ones we have now, where when we have to deal with a bear that comes into an urban or suburban setting. I know we had the big incident in Walker a few years back, the infamous Summer of the Bear, and other things that happened in Grand Rapids. So yeah, that is something that is definitely on their radar. As far as people, especially who live in the area, the northwest portion of our viewing area, it's just learning to adapt to another creature. I know Cody Norton, who's the bear specialist I spoke with, was really specific on limiting food sources. Food sources are really what bring the bears. That's they're looking for. They're not looking for you. They're looking for your food.
Right.
And so if you can take steps to eliminate, make sure your trash and things are properly covered and put away. If you find bears like they're messing around your bird feeder, you should probably take the bird feeders down, because if you leave them out, that could bring them back. And once they kind of establish that habit, they do tend to keep returning to the same area. So little steps like that. He's not worried of. Bear attacks are extremely rare. They do not happen very often, and there are obviously steps and things you can do in the event of a bear encounter to try to avoid that.
Right.
So just all these things to keep in mind in the coming years.
Definitely. And Matt, I guess just kind of, wrapping up things here, what are sort of the next steps that the DNR is kind of keeping an eye out for? Is it just sort of monitoring the bear population? You mentioned the hunting license earlier. Is there any potential of that going back up now that the population has increased so much?
Not immediately. Cody, so they believe that the population in the UP is solid and strong, and it's pretty plateaued. The UP, they believe, has plateaued, or excuse me, the Lower Peninsula, they believe the population is kind of, that big growth spike has kind of leveled off a little bit. But he said they want to see a few more years of data to really confirm that, and it's in specific places too. So they're not making any changes yet to hunting permits, but that could be something we see down the road.
Definitely. All right. Well, Matt, thank you so much for coming on the live desk. I do want to remind everybody that you can find Matt's latest piece on the population growth of the black bears here in Michigan over on our website, woodtv.com. Matt, as always, thank you for stopping by the live desk.
Thanks, Phil.
And I want to thank everybody else for tuning in to this latest edition of the Wood TV Live Desk. I'm Phil Pinarski, and we hope you have a great rest of your day.